Honorable Chief Justice of Pakistan, Honorable Justice Ijazul Ahsan, Honorable Chief Justice Lahore High Court, my brother judges, ladies and gentlemen. I will start with an anecdote. And this is a true story, so it's not anecdotal. When Pakistan came into, after independence, Justice Munir, who was then the Chief Justice of Pakistan, he received a request from one of the top management of Liver Brothers, who wanted to come and invest in Pakistan, which is now Unilever, I think. And Justice Munir was quite taken aback with the request, and he said that why would a multinational company would want to meet the Chief Justice. But the precise reason that they wanted to meet the Chief Justice was that they wanted to know as to what were the environment for dispensation of justice and enforcement of contracts and dispute resolution once the investments was made by a large company like Liver Brothers at that time. So this is the crux of what we are here about. Also, the UK's commercial courts also has a story behind it. There was a case in the UK High Court, and it was being heard by some judge who had no experience in commercial matters. He delayed the decision on the matter, and there was, there ensued some discomfort amongst the lawyers. And that particular case gave rise to, the movement for setting up dedicated commercial courts in the UK, because it was thought that commercial matters and investments were the lifeblood of a nation, and they must be dealt with that seriousness that it deserves. My honorable guests, change is the only constant. And this is the mantra and the essence of the project that we have culminated today. It was said by one very eminent jurist that like the eagle in the sky, which maintains its stability only when it is moving, so too is the law stable only when it is moving. We had a limited scope, and now I'm referring to the Lahore High Court. And this was to attempt to bring reforms in the laws relating to merchants, investors, and business people. For their dealings involve money, finance, and property. In all these matters, there is a sense of urgency as the essential materials of these transactions, such as assets, collaterals, pledged goods, etc., are prone to sudden and abrupt diminution in value as the time goes by. The ease of doing business is a competious term, and dispute resolution is merely a component of it. In his book, there's a book by an eminent writer, Jared Diamond, Guns, Germs, and Steel. He has enumerated certain factors which economists attribute as contributing to the national wealth, or what are called the human institutions or good institutions. At least a dozen different so-called good institutions have been identified by the economists, which contribute to the human institutions or to the national wealth. And they include control of inflation, educational opportunities, effectiveness of government, enforcement of contract. And this is, therefore, one of the components which has been considered by the economists to contribute to the national wealth. And this is what we are concerned with, the High Court, or the courts generally. This also includes the freedom from trade barriers, incentives, and protection of private property rights and rule of law, etc. So we have no doubt that contract enforcement and dispute resolution are important components. But the High Court can only facilitate to a certain extent. It cannot create courts. It cannot legislate to enact new laws. It can only do some tweaking in the rules that we are empowered to do so, to ensure that the causes are decided with all deliberate speed. But we felt that the burden for most part lay on the government to set in motion legislation on substantive laws relating to contracts and property to make the entire system of commerce and trade transparent and free of error and uncertainty. In a meeting that we convened, we emphasized upon the Government of Punjab the need to minimize the need to approach the courts for dispute resolution. The question is, why should a dispute arise at all? Our courts are glutted with frivolity of litigation, mostly involving issues regarding specific performance of contracts, possession, inheritance, almost all relating to immovable property, in which courts are confronted with intricate questions of proof of documents and settling titles among competing claimants. Sadly, the courts end up looking at oral depositions which are implausible and unconvincing, and to deal with witnesses who do not tell the whole truth. To obviate this, we propose to the government to amend the laws so that the transactions are recorded with an authority set up by the government for that specific purpose, with full responsibility of its certainty and respectability. If an investor is assured of transparency in the sale and purchase of property, this will take care of 70% of the essentials comprising ease of doing business. For almost every business involves renting of property or purchase of property as a first step. If these issues are out of the way, then the courts can grapple with the real issues of contract construction. The courts will also be rid of frivolous and unwanted litigation. Lawrence Tribe, he's a very famous constitutional expert of the US. He once, in one of his books, he's remarked that judges don't have the monopoly on justice. Indeed, the Constitution presumes that democracy, not litigation, is how we are supposed to resolve many disputes. So this is the essence of what we want to impress upon the Government of Punjab. And to this end, we convinced the Government of Punjab to constitute a working group, or a committee as may be called. It constitutes of members of representing the government and the members representing the High Court. And we have given a task to that committee to come up with proposals to make amendments in the substantive laws. And because, in our opinion, unless the amendments in the substantive laws go hand in hand with the procedure or the procedure laws, no minimums can be attained. We have also proposed to the Government of Punjab that a permanent provincial law commission be set up, and that law commission should review from time to time, based on the precedents handed down by the courts, by the superior courts, any amendments which are required in the laws, because we will have to progress, and in order to progress, we will have to be in step with the changing times. Otherwise, there can be no progress. A new arbitration law has to be enacted, for which we have proposed, we have a draft. The Lahore High Court has a draft, not the government. I'm talking about the Lahore High Court. We have a draft prepared for them, and we have asked them to amend the entire arbitration law, which is perhaps one of the most important laws from the investor's point of view. Let me remind the audience here that the project that we're talking about is fairly old. It started in 2010. It has been given a new lease of life by the Lahore High Court, of course, led by the Honorable Chief Justice Mohammad Qasim Khan. And it has given a purpose and a direction to the entire project. Our role is merely limited, and so we have decided to nudge the government of Punjab to assume the responsibility in this regard. In all developed jurisdictions, commercial cases are treated as a category apart. The reason is simple. Commerce and trade is the lifeblood of a people's well-being. It must be secured and protected. Let me just refer to the steps that the Lahore High Court has taken so far. For our part, we have taken significant strides, I must say. Activating the concept of commercial cases, let me pause here for a moment. The term commercial courts is a misnomer. It's not commercial courts. Under the High Court rules and orders, the High Court can only assign a case as a commercial case. So it is courts set up for deciding commercial cases. That's how it has to be taken. The central feature of our effort has been, and I must refer to this, Honorable Chief Justice of Pakistan, with your permission. In the 100 years or more of the promulgation of the Code of Civil Procedure, this has not been achieved. We have, for the first time, over a century, instead of patchwork of amendments here and there, every provision was considered of the High Court, of the rules, because the High Court is only empowered to amend the rules of the CPC and not of the substantive part. So it took us more than 1.5 years of a committee set up precisely for this purpose to bring about amendments in the rules, and every provision was considered and studied. Amendments were then brought about to conform to the procedure to current times. The result is a set of changes which will bring a paradigm shift in the decision of civil cases, and we are looking at 6 to 8 months, Honorable Chief Justice of Pakistan, for the decision of cases as a result of these amendments. These amendments have been approved by the government, they have been notified, and I hope that the Honorable Chief Justice of Lahore High Court in his speech today will announce their implementation from a certain date in the entire province. Just to give you a bird's eye view of what the amendments are, we have brought in the concept of an administrative judge who shall deal with the cause till the issues are framed. Then the matter will go to a judge, civil judge, who will deal with will take down the entire evidence. So there will be 2 stages in which the judges will deal with the cases. No adjournment on the main case, even if an application has been filed, the main case shall proceed and the application shall be dealt with separately. The mode of services have been brought to conform with the modern times. The service shall be effected through all means, which by all means, through email, etc. The adjournment for the written statement will only be for 30 days. Any adjournment will have to be within that 30 days, and it will not go beyond 30 days. And no separate application under Order 7, Rule 11 will be filed. Any objection on that account will have to be taken in the written statement and will be dealt with as an issue of law under Order 15, Rule 1. The cases will necessarily, we have added a rule or an order, Order 9A, a new order. After the issues have been framed, the cases will be referred to the alternate dispute resolution forum set up, and a time will be given if a case can be resolved there. Otherwise, it will go for taking down evidence. So this is also a concept we have incorporated in the rules. We've brought in the concept of written arguments. So no oral arguments perhaps will be required unless by the presiding officer, but written arguments will suffice. Certified copies of the decree will be handed out by the civil judge at the time of announcing the judgment to the parties, there and then. decrees will be automatically converted into execution, and the entire procedure for execution, Order 21, has been revamped, and it has been brought so that the decrees can be executed expeditiously. And appealable orders have been reduced, so on and so forth. So this was some of the highlights of what we have brought in, Honorable Chief Justice of Pakistan. And once they are implemented, it will bring about meaningful and purposeful reforms in the decision of civil cases in Punjab. We have not looked at any consultant's report. We have not been advised by anybody else, but it's a totally homegrown, domestic effort, and these amendments are our own effort totally. In the end, honorable guests, it has also been mentioned by Justice Jawad Hassan, but I will reiterate. We have, for this workshop, we had perhaps the best top-notch pool of resource persons, and we requested them. They volunteered. They are top lawyers. They are experts in their fields. They have come at our beckoning. They have delivered lectures of very high quality, and I'm really thankful to them. And this is what has been made possible by the Lahore High Court, and this is all pro bono, voluntary. So the government of Punjab should take that into account as well. Thank you very much.